Wired to Change. How Neuroplasticity Shapes Your Brain, Habits, and Life. Written by Brian Gibson, narrated by John Sullivan. Chapter 1. Neuroplasticity. Brain plasticity refers to the nervous system's unique ability to adapt and change organically in response to stimuli from the external environment. This concept is the basis of recent discoveries in neuroscience. It has replaced the old idea that an individual's brain structure largely derives from their genetic heritage. The role of experience in shaping the mind has been significantly reassessed, so the organization of brain functions must be largely reconfigured through interaction with the environment. This plasticity seems to be the main mechanism behind the individual's ability to learn, in the broadest sense of the term, not only during the developmental age but throughout their entire life. This latter concept, in particular, is very important. It represents another great revolution in the study of the nervous system, the overcoming of the idea that cognitive development had a determined and circumscribed gestation period at a particular moment in life, childhood, after which the organ would begin its slow and irreversible decline. Brain plasticity is always active throughout life, which means that every individual can adapt their intelligence in response to the changes and stimuli they are exposed to. Intelligence can, therefore, be subjected to continuous revisions in response to the quality of the information transmitted by the senses to the nervous system over time. Despite the significant reduction in the weight of genetic inheritance, recent data tells us that the role of genes in brain development accounts for about 30%, less than half of what was previously hypothesized. This is because DNA, despite its complexity, cannot map an entire human cerebral cortex, which is notoriously one of the most complex brains among animals. In an individual, the connections between neuronal cells result from the combination of three main factors: genetic instructions, biochemical messengers that carry out these instructions, and interaction with the environment. This promotes enormous individual variability, making each brain practically unique, like the being that hosts it. A specific characteristic of the nervous system that reinforces the concept of brain plasticity is the mechanism of synaptic connection formation. This process is maintained over time and supported by an initial overproduction of cells, axons, and synapses, followed by a period of reduction and consolidation, which responds exclusively to environmental factors. This process of synaptic restructuring extends into the third decade of life, contributing to neuronal flexibility, which allows for the formation of new neural pathways. It is hypothesized that this is also a main cause of neuropsychiatric disorders in adulthood. Brain plasticity is so deeply integrated into biology that it begins before birth. Even during gestation, an excess of neurons is created before they organize themselves. The subsequent growth is a form of pruning, a natural selection of the groups of neurons most favorable to specific environmental interactions. We are, therefore, talking about neural Darwinism. The property of being a cultural animal represents, together with and connected to the faculty of language, the essence of human nature. Although human behavior is genetically guided and shared with other species, the human cognitive heritage is the final product of a continuous learning process made possible through environmental interaction. This process is based on the nervous system's ability to adapt to different stimuli and factors through a process of brain flexibility. The final product is, therefore, a behavior modulated by experience and responding to different purposes and demands through an interaction between intrinsic, robust, and innate skills and those resulting from variations in brain mechanisms, anatomical and functional, necessary to interact with the environment. This process represents the core of neuronal plasticity or brain remapping. The study of the anatomical and functional bases of neuronal plasticity has become one of the most explored research fields by psychologists and neuroscientists, from both clinical and experimental perspectives. This is for various reasons: to discover positive and negative factors that can influence brain plasticity, to explore new electrophysiological methods, to demonstrate the effectiveness of rehabilitative therapies in recovery from brain damage, and to understand neuronal adaptation. The introduction of new brain magnetic resonance techniques, including MRI and fMRI, has allowed significant progress in neuroscience. Experimental evidence has now verified many theories that were just a few years ago. Most researchers agree that significant and constant mental effort is necessary to provoke an adaptive reaction.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?